The old swing set in the park, its chains rusted and seat worn smooth, was where their story truly began. Anya, with her fierce, unwavering spirit and eyes that held the depth of ancient forests, would push Rowan higher and higher, her laughter echoing through the twilight. By the time they were teenagers, their hands found each other. Naturally, their shoulders brushed with a familiar comfort that transcended friendship. Their first kiss, tentative and sweet, happened beneath the very swing set, sealing a bond they believed was unbreakable, eternal. Rowan, quiet and thoughtful, with a mind that saw patterns and possibilities in everything, would sketch the intricate designs of imaginary buildings in the dust with a stick, while Anya spoke of distant lands and helping hands. Simultaneously, Anya was accepted into a highly competitive program that would send her to various field placements in South Asia and Africa, video calls, visits during breaks. Love knows no distance, right? The world, it seemed, was conspiring to pull them apart, even as their hearts clung desperately together. They were inseparable, two halves of a whole, growing up in the quiet embrace of Willow Creek, a town too small for their burgeoning dreams. Their love wasn't a sudden spark, but a slow, inevitable bloom, nurtured by shared secrets under starry skies, comforting silences, and the unspoken understanding that flowed effortlessly between them. Right. Our love is stronger than any ocean, any time zone. They understood each other's passions so completely that they knew, deep down, that neither could truly ask the other to abandon their chosen path. Rowan couldn't imagine Anya thriving in the polished corporate world of architecture, just as Anya knew Rowan would wither away in the harsh, unpredictable conditions of a conflict zone. Their love was a beautiful, powerful force, but it was also a tether, pulling them in opposite directions, threatening to snap. Rowan described the intricate Gothic architecture of London, the vibrant energy of the city. Anya was exhausted, her face smudged with dust, the faint sounds of a distant village audible in the background. I don't think we can keep doing this. Rowan was in his sleek London apartment, surrounded by blueprints and models. The contrast was stark, undeniable. What are you saying, Anya? He had known it intellectually, but hearing it spoken aloud, seeing the pain in her eyes, made it terrifyingly real. So, this is it. And just like that, their shared future, the one they had meticulously planned under the old swing set, dissolved into the ether. Anya recounted stories of resilience from remote villages, the profound impact of her work, the heartbreaking realities she witnessed. She rose through the ranks of international NGOs, leading critical missions in war-torn regions, establishing sustainable development projects in remote communities. No chance encounters in airports, no sudden emails out of the blue. Their separation was absolute, a conscious choice to allow each other the freedom to pursue their destinies. Even if it meant doing so alone, a field of wildflowers that made Anya think of Rowan's gentle sketches, a poignant testament to a bond that transcended physical presence, a beautiful, heartbreaking truth that some loves are simply too vast for one lifetime, too pure for the confines of a single shared path, and in that quiet, enduring love, they found a bittersweet peace. It existed in the unspoken understanding that no matter where they were, no matter what they achieved, a part of their hearts would forever belong to the other. They were two stars, once orbiting each other in a perfect binary system, now flung two different corners of the universe, yet their light, though distant, still shone for one another. Her name became synonymous with compassion and resilience. She found fulfillment in her work, in the tangible difference she made in countless lives. It transformed, it became a quiet, internal force, a benchmark against which all other connections were measured. Rowan would sometimes see a news report about a humanitarian crisis in a region where Anya was known to work, and his heart would clench with worry, a primal instinct to protect her. Anya, seeing a magazine feature on a groundbreaking new skyscraper, would feel a surge of pride, knowing the brilliant mind behind it. She experienced profound connections with the people she served, but the kind of intimate, soul-deep love she had known with Rowan remained elusive. She saw the world through his eyes sometimes, imagining his architectural solutions for the makeshift shelters, his artistic appreciation for the stark beauty of the landscapes, his presence, though absent, was a constant, comforting hum in her heart. His buildings graced skylines in Dubai, New York, and Singapore. He had a beautiful apartment, a successful career, and the admiration of his peers. He dated, he formed connections, but none ever reached the depth, the effortless understanding he had shared with Anya. Every new city, every grand structure he designed, was tinged with a quiet melancholy, a silent question. Would Anya have liked this? He carried her memory like a treasured blueprint, a reminder of the foundation upon which his emotional world was built. I don't want to lose you, Rowan, not truly, but I think we are hurting each other by trying to force our lives into a shape they don't fit. We're holding each other back from fully embracing our paths. Rowan's graduation, Anya's first successful project completion. They weren't breaking up out of anger or betrayal, but out of a painful, mutual understanding that their love, as strong as it was, could not overcome the fundamental divergence of their life's purposes. They chose their dreams, knowing the cost would be each other's physical presence. The joy of these achievements was always tinged with the ache of the other's absence, and neither of us can ask the other to give up what makes us, us. You're building your dreams, and I'm building mine, but they're not together. They tried to visit, but the cost, the travel time, the sheer exhaustion, made it nearly impossible. A planned reunion in Paris was cancelled due to a sudden humanitarian crisis that demanded Anya's presence. Rowan's heart sank, but he understood. He always understood. Their love, fueled by longing and shared purpose, seemed to defy the miles. We'll find our way back to each other, to our future. Time zones became a relentless enemy, forcing late-night calls for one, early morning awakenings for the other. Rowan's world became filled with late-night studio sessions, architectural critiques, and a new circle of ambitious, driven friends. Inya's days were consumed by humanitarian crises, logistical challenges, and the raw, immediate needs of the communities she served. Their experiences diverged. Rowan spoke of grand designs, Anya of basic survival. His concerns were aesthetic, hers existential. It was a promise made out of love and desperation, a fragile shield against the inevitable. Rowan dreamed of cities, of towering structures that touched the clouds, of designing spaces where human lives could flourish. He envisioned himself a world-renowned architect, his blueprints shaping skylines across continents. You'll build hospitals for me to work in, Anya would joke, a forced lightness in her voice, and you'll send me postcards from every country you visit, Rowan would reply, tracing circles on her palm, his brow furrowed with concern. They tried to find a middle ground, a compromise that would allow both their dreams to coexist. But the truth was stark. Their ambitions pulled them in fundamentally different directions, geographically and spiritually. Anya, on the other hand, felt an irresistible pull towards humanity, towards the forgotten corners of the world where suffering was rampant and help was scarce. She dreamed of humanitarian aid, of building schools in remote villages, of bringing clean water to parched lands, of being a voice for the voiceless. Her path lay in the dust and heat of developing nations, far from the gleaming towers Rowan yearned to create. They talked about it endlessly during their university years, their conversations stretching late into the night, filled with a mixture of excitement and a growing, unspoken dread. The first major crossroads came when Rowan received a prestigious scholarship to study architecture in London, a dream opportunity he couldn't refuse. We can make this work, Anya declared, her voice trembling slightly as they stood on the old pier in Seabreeze, the same pier where they had shared countless dreams. Rowan nodded, pulling her into a tight embrace, burying his face in her hair. The initial months were a whirlwind of excited calls, detailed emails, and meticulously planned video chats. They shared every triumph, every setback, but slowly, insidiously, the cracks began to appear. They missed milestones. The understanding, however, became its own form of torment. The conversation happened during one of their rare, stilted video calls. Rowan, Anya began, her voice barely a whisper. His heart plummeted. He knew what she meant, but he had hoped, desperately, that she didn't. We're living two completely different lives, she said, tears welling in her eyes. Rowan felt a profound, crushing sadness. Anya nodded, a single tear tracing a path through the dust on her cheek. It was the most heartbreakingly rational conversation they had ever had. I'll always love you, Anya, Rowan said, his voice thick with unshed tears. And you, Rowan, always. The call ended. The screen went dark. Years turned into a decade. Rowan became a celebrated architect, his name synonymous with innovative, sustainable designs. Anya, too, thrived in her chosen field. They never truly reconnected after that final call, not in the traditional sense. But the love, the deep, abiding love, never faded. Their love existed in the quiet moments. A sunset that reminded Rowan of Anya's fiery hair. They were forever apart, geographically and experientially, but their love, a silent, enduring flame, remained fiercely alive in their hearts.